Okay, this is the final assignment, concert tickets, and this is our problem. So again, let's just go ahead and um, copy this and go into our Notepad++, paste it in, and we can start getting to work. So we have assignments, input, calculations, logic, and output. Again, output is going to be pretty easy. This is what our output is going to be. And so we paste it down here and we get to work. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to analyze this to find out how we're going to be doing this math. So the total dollar amount of the tickets. So for the upper level tickets, it's going to be, we have 10 tickets. And we can see up here that the tickets are $10 a piece. So that's going to be 100 there. So how did we get the 100? It is 10 times the amount for the, no, where is it? 10 times the per ticket price. That's just math. So if that's just math, then all these down here are going to be math. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this total. And I'm going to do this is going to be upper. Get rid of all this. Upper total. And then this one here is going to be lower. Mouse problems. Lower total. And then this one is going to be floor total. Dadgummit. And then this one here is going to be orchestra total. And I'm just going to change it to ORCH total. Okay, and then I don't need the rest of any of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the rest. But since they're giving us their output based upon that practice data, it's easy for us to see whether it's going to be counters, accumulators, or math. And these bottom are only going to be math. Here is how many tickets we've accumulated. So obviously that's going to be an accumulation. So I'm going to call them all accumulators. So we're going to get rid of this. And I might as well just go ahead and get the whole thing. Probably easier for me to type it just right out. So this is orchestra accum. And then I'm going to have floor accum. And then I'm going to have lower accum. And then I'm going to have upper accum. And then I can get rid of all this stuff down here. So this are all my outputs right now. Oh, I think we have one more. Because of this constraint, they also want an alert to pop up after the section and number of tickets as input to show how much the money is to be collected. So we have one more output, and I'm going to put it right here. It's still output, whether it's going to be an alert or it's going to be a document write. And this is going to be called customer O's. There we go. Now we have all our output. And of course, all of these are going to be calculations. So we're going to go ahead and copy this, Control C, Control V. And the next thing is our assignments. And that's all these numbers here. I'll go ahead and copy that, paste it in. So this is from an orchestra. So this is the orch rate equals 50. Of course, I have to get rid of that capital O. Okay, and then the next one is going to be the floor. And the floor rate is going to be equal to 40. And then the lower rate is going to be equal to 30. And the final one is going to be the upper rate, and that's going to be equal to 10. Okay, so now that we have all that, and we can go ahead and move on. So we start with the bottom. Well, I'm not sure why there's not a grand total here. You would think there would be, but there isn't. So let's just go ahead and move on. So let's go ahead and do the math. So it's going to be equal space. Easiest thing is just go ahead and copy that. Control C, Control V, 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 Control V. All right, and this upper should be lowercase, and then this one down here should also be lowercase. And now we're ready to go. So the upper total is simply the number of upper tickets times the upper rate. So let's go ahead and put that math in. And you can see why Notepad++ makes it so much easier. Upper rate. Okay, the lower total is simply going to be the lower accum times the lower rate. And floor total is going to be the floor accum times the floor rate. And then the orch accum times the orch rate. All right, so what math are we going to do for the accumulators? If you remember from the last assignment, accumulators are going to be whatever accum equals whatever accum plus whatever we are accumulating. So we have upper accum equals upper accum plus the num tickets. So the number of tickets, of course, we're accumulating the number of tickets. So since we have this now, someone has to tell us how many tickets they want. Control C, Control V. And now we can continue with the rest of these. And lower ticket accum equals lower ticket accum plus num tickets. And then floor accum plus num tickets. And orch accum plus num tickets. Okay, and then the customer owes is going to be the number of tickets times the ticket rate. So the customer owes depending on what kind of ticket that they did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to put it at the very bottom. Control X, Control V. Because you can see that we're going to have to assign the ticket rate based upon the type of ticket So we don't want this all the way up here. We want it actually on the bottom. So let's go ahead. We not only want to do this math here if it's an orchestra ticket. So we're going to say if ticket type equals orch, then we're going to do the orch cum. So here we have ticket type, and that someone has to tell us what that is. And since we have specific values, we're going to put in orch. You can go type about orchestra if you want, but I think people will figure it out. Floor, upper, lower, and we'll just make sure that that's exactly how we do it. So if it's an orchestra, we're going to do the orchestra. Since we want to say that if it's not orchestra, let's see if it's floor. So we'll say else, that means not orchestra. And then ticket type. And where's ticket type? There it is. Ticket type equals floor. And if that's true, then we do the floor cum. And then we have lower. So that's like another else if. Else if ticket type. There we go. Equals lower. Whoops. Then we do the lower. And then we have the next one. Again, that's going to be else if ticket type equals upper. Then we do the upper. Notice we don't just say else, we do this, because when you're doing your flow chart, you're going to be doing error checking, error trapping. If they don't type in one of these four, we're going to say, oh, it's not right, and we're going to have to throw the error flag and give them a message saying that an error has occurred so that they know that it has occurred. Now we have all this math down here. This math actually, when we do your coding, this math will be outside the loop. But while we are testing, which is in your flowchart and in your first run of code, we're going to have to do this inside. All right, so Control X, Control V, and then floor, Control X, Control V, and then lower, Control X, whoops, Control V, and then upper, Control X, Control V. So the last thing we have is we have this ticket rate. And how is that going to be assigned? There's nothing here called ticket rate. Well, if it's an orchestra ticket, then the rate is going to be the orch rate. So for each one of these, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to say ticket type, oops, I'm sorry, ticket rate equals the next rate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this and stick it into each one. Make this much faster. Okay. So if it's an orchestra, then we're going to use the orch rate. If it's floor, then we're going to do the floor rate. If it's lower, then we're going to do the lower rate. And if it's the upper, we're going to do the upper rate. Okay. And then that's it. We have done everything that we need to do for our problem statement. Now I got to, for the next couple of minutes, let's bring up the problem so I can go over how it all works. So that is our problem statement. Our flow chart is going to be different. Our code is going to be done twice. It's going to be done once, just like our flow chart, and then once like our final code. So let's go ahead and take a look at the example. So we have a query problem. Query problem is very similar. Oops, sorry. It's very similar. It's doing queries instead. All right, so very similar. You see here in this one, I didn't put these inside, but I could have. So if you put them in or out, it doesn't make a difference. I like it better inside because that's how I'm going to do my flow chart. But you can do it either way. That wouldn't mark out if that's that way you did it. All right, and then the flow chart, you can see that inside the flow chart, we're doing output and we're doing our math. And this way we can check. And you should be doing the build and test methodology. You build a piece, you test a piece, you move on to the next. If you're not, God dang it. If you're not, you're wasting your time. Build and test. Build a piece, test a piece, move on. Because you don't want to do the whole thing and then find out that the first thing you did was wrong. Or you have 85 errors and you're trying to track down all of them. All right, and then, okay, this is my video on that. And then when I go down and I have also a code where I walk you through how to do it 2 times. And then we have this. So you can see that the first time I did it, of course, we're going to be using switch because it's a bunch of else-ifs, just like in this assignment. I had alerts and I did the math inside the loop here. And then when we did our final math at the end, we take that math and we comment it out and we move it on down out of here. So again, if you work your way through the lesson, there's only 2 of them. You should be able to get the hang of what it is I'm trying to do, and then you should be able to bang out that assignment no problem.